And do you want to start with your name, your full name?
John David Marchant.
Okay. And do you have a nickname?
I have a lot of nicknames.
Okay.
You want some?
Yeah, start with what we introduced ourselves as.
Johnny.
Okay.
Even though my name is John D., there's very few people that call me John, and I don't know why they still call me John. Anyway, Jonica, Janetta, Janiqua.
I love these.
Johnnykins.
Okay.
And more stupid names on that level.
And when and where were you born?
Born in San Francisco on January 1st, 1953.
New Year's baby.
At New Year's baby at 3:20, I think, a.m. And I missed the prize by two babies.
Oh, wow.
I think that's maybe an old folks tale, but I think they give the first baby of the new year a little plaque or, a bronze shoe or something.
I love that.
And I missed it.
Oh, well. And how long have you lived in Lafayette?
Well, I took a break when I was about 17, but I was in Lafayette originally for, say, 17 years.
Okay.
At a different address. And I've been here for over 30 years. I can't believe it.
And so you were born in San Francisco, but you were brought home from the hospital here to
At
Lafayette.
3 days old, I was formally adopted, I think.
Oh,
or
wow.
at 3 days old, I was allowed to leave or something.
Okay, so tell me that story. So you said you and your brother
Me and my brother, Donny,
Okay.
Donald G.
Donny and Johnny.
Marchant. And
I love that.
And anyway, so they took us first to a house on Sarah Lane in, I guess that's Danville. I think Sarah Lane is in Danville. And
Okay.
I've been back there to look at it. And that was one of Dad's houses. And that
Okay.
had to be prior to 1953 because it was finished. And that was a neat little house. And like I said, I went back to visit and met the current owners and stuff and got to snoop around. And
Oh, fun.
yeah, it was.
And is Donny a twin?
No. Donny is 2 months and 22 days older than me,
Okay.
which threw everybody off that didn't know we were adopted.
Okay.
And they were trying to figure out how Mom pulled that one off.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Okay, but you were brought home from the hospital together?
no, Donny was already home
He was home. Okay.
because he was 2 months older.
Okay.
So
great.
he was already
Okay.
there.
So you were brought home to Danville,
Yeah,
and then
the
you
reason
lived...
the reason they got two of us is because my dad's nephews were twins,
Okay.
and they realized how much they really, really wanted kids and really, really wanted kids of the same age, I guess.
Wow.
And so they found us in the bargain basement, I guess.
Oh. And so you were brought home to Danville, and you lived
we
in
were
that...
marked down.
Oh, you were marked down. Discount babies.
And so we lived about maybe only 2 or 3 years. It was probably 2.5 years at that Sarah Lane address.
Okay.
I wish I could remember the number. There's hardly any houses there anyway, but it's Sarah Lane. And we moved because my mom thought that the crazy traffic on the main drag there, whatever it is, Boulevard, not Danville Boulevard, but anyway, the main drag.
Yeah.
Zooming by at 40 miles an hour was a horrible danger.
For kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though we were in a cage.
Sure.
not a cage, but a fenced-in yard that we thought of as a cage.
Yeah.
And so then he had a house built for us at McGraw Lane, and I think that was 3360 McGraw Lane.
Okay.
And that was a
And do you know what year that was, roughly?
56,
Okay.
I'd say, 56, 57.
Okay.
And that was a beautiful house with a beautiful yard and everything. And it was right on top of the hill. I'm trying to think of any way to locate it. Anyway,
I'm sure
it was
Google
up the
Maps
hill from
can-
where we moved
yeah.
eventually.
Does that house still stand, do you know?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've been there and snooped around.
Oh, great. What's it like now?
I like to go and snoop. A lot of it's similar,
Okay.
but it's been fixed up. People take my dad's houses, and sometimes they just kind of like blow them up, and you wouldn't even recognize it was ever a Marchant house.
Tragic.
And then other times they work with what they got.
And what about this one? It looks pretty
It looks
similar.
pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So we lived there till we were about 7,
Okay.
I want to say. And then my mom wanted us to move because the houses up there weren't finished. That was all Dad's houses up there on McGraw Lane, on the hill. And they didn't think there were enough kids.
Okay.
So we moved down the hill
Okay.
to his new development,
Okay.
which was Black Hawk Road,
Yes.
which I'm thinking he named Black Hawk because his favorite cousin, John Ward of Ward Construction, lived on Black Hawk, in the original Black Hawk.
Where was the? Oh, down in out like
The
Danville.
old Black Hawk,
Yeah.
where Black Hawk is now.
Oh, interesting. So he sort of
I
took
think
inspiration.
I think that's where he got the name.
I love that.
And he always went for real naturey names, like, Fallen Leaf Court and
So did he name a number of the streets in
I
Lafayette?
think he did.
Okay.
I think, at least in his developments, I'm sure he did.
Sure. And okay, so do you remember the address on Black Hawk Road that you lived in?
Oh yeah, 14, I want to say 1403.
1403. And do you remember that house?
1403 Meadowlark Court. Oh, I remember that house very well.
1403 Meadowlark Court.
Because we lived there from the time I was 6 or 7 till the time I was in college.
Oh, wow.
So that's where I really kind of grew
That
up.
was where
there.
you grew up. Okay. And does that house still stand?
Yeah, but they did a number on it.
Oh.
It looks nice, but that it's not very recognizable.
And did your folks live there after you moved out?
No, I moved out because they were gone.
Oh, they left.
So
Oh,
they died.
Oh, they died. Oh,
My dad died in 84.
okay.
I want to say 84 or 86.
Okay. Well, he did the oral history in 84, so
I
he
know,
must have been
but that was close.
very close to the end.
And like I told you, I listened to that interview, and it's not great because he's on a lot of cancer drugs, and
Oh.
he starts to go off on a couple of tangents that weren't very him. He gets super emotional too,
Yeah.
which wasn't him at all.
Oh, interesting.
And also, I'm probably older than he is now when you interviewed him.
How old was he when he passed?
I suspect, well, he was 72, and I'm 72.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
is
an interesting
unbelievable.
milestone.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So tell me what it was like to have your childhood on Meadowlark Court.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And they told us from when we were old enough to understand anything that we were adopted.
Oh, great.
They weren't one of those families that, hid it or did it. And I don't know who told them to be upfront about it, but they were. And they just, made it clear that they got us because they really, really wanted us, and,
Yeah.
and that, it wasn't an accident.
Mm-hmm.
And so I grew up as an adopted kid, never, ever, ever having any desire to find my real parents.
And what about your brother?
It just didn't figure.
Yeah.
He didn't either.
Yeah.
We were happy.
Yeah.
We were totally well off,
Yeah.
and loved, of course,
Yeah.
even though we were crazy. And anyway, we just never had any desire to do that. And there are tons of kids
In the neighborhood?
because Black Hawk Road and Meadowlark Court, that whole area were really just being built. Because I also remember driving through there before it was built in my dad's Packard. He had a 1933 V8 Packard, I want to say,
Wow.
touring car.
Okay.
And it was flawless. It was spotless. It was mint. And we would get in the trundle seat, or whatever they call it, the weird thing in the back. And he would drive us around like a chauffeur because it had an isinglass window. You could roll up, so the butler didn't hear you.
Yep.
And it was maroon and tan.
I bet it was a
Oh,
recognized
God,
car
it
around
was
town.
It was super rare too. And
Was he a car guy?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
So anyway, I remember driving through that, and it was a pear orchard. And I've got a picture up there for you where you can see that it was just a pear orchard.
That whole neighborhood was.
Oh, yeah.
So you remember it before the homes were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so were kids like playing in the orchard and?
Oh, no, there was nobody there at that time.
Okay, so you remember driving around it before your home was there.
Yeah, or maybe just just one or two were in construction. Maybe I think maybe.
Was that house that you lived in sort of like the spec for the neighborhood, or one of the first homes that was built there?
I think he built it for us.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the one on the hill on Sarah Lane, I'm sorry, the one on McGraw Lane, I'm pretty sure he built that just for us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think so. Why wouldn't he? If he was building houses, why wouldn't he jazz one up or something for
his
family?
own family, of course.
And then I just remember other houses being built that it was kind of a blur, because that was just a natural thing that was going on right then.
Right.
But I remember new kids moving in and new houses being built and finished, and
what was the neighborhood like?
it was great. It was great. And the houses were like $30,000.
I know.
$33,000.
You can do a bathroom
24
for
to
that
33. And I remember when he did his first $50,000 house in Orinda by the golf club. I can't remember the name of that neighborhood. And anyway, it was 2 stories, which was rare for him. And he asked $50,000 for it, and we thought he was crazy.
Wow. Do you remember what year that was?
No, I don't.
But you were old enough to remember, so.
Yeah, and you could probably
10.
find out when the house was built.
Yeah.
It's right there on the corner, on one of the corners, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, the neighborhood was wonderful, and we played and got in trouble and left the house at 8 in the morning and didn't come back till 8 at night, and nobody said boo.
And do you remember what town was like at that time? Like what the town was like? Downtown and...
Honest to God, I don't.
You don't?
It was just a funkier version of what it is now.
Yeah.
It was a one street town. I didn't have a lot of call to be down there.
Did you guys have bikes? Were you around on bikes?
Yeah, we had bikes. But I don't think we went all that far.
Well, you probably didn't need to, right?
I don't think we needed to. I mean, we played in the creek all the time.
I love that. Which creek?
It doesn't even have a name, I don't think, but there's a creek
Behind Blackhawk?
behind Blackhawk. There's
Yeah.
2 creeks, actually, and Dad had to culvert one up to build there, and then one of them was left open. And there were just enough kids to play with so that we didn't have to bike a heck of a lot. And then we didn't bike a lot, we just walked.
Yeah.
You know, we would hike up to Tabletop, that mountain up between here and the park, between here and I want to say Grizzly Peak. That's not Grizzly Peak. Anyway, we would walk up there at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
So we did that.
And where did you go to school?
Went to school first at Spring Hill School.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that pretty well. I mean, doesn't look any much like it does now. And I went initially to Palmer School, which was a private school.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there because I was born on January 1st, and they wouldn't let me in the same class as my brother, even though we were only 2 months apart.
Oh, wow.
Because I was born on the next year or something weird. So anyway, she found Palmer School, and that was I remember a lot about Palmer School, and it's gone now. Just recently, I went by there again, and it was torn down.
Where
and
was it?
They're going to build on it. It's in Walnut Creek, or it was in Walnut Creek. I can't remember the name of the street, but it was an old school style school.
And was that when you lived on McGraw Lane, or?
I'm trying to think. I was super little, so I must have been on McGraw Lane because I was out of Palmer School by first or second grade.
Okay.
Because by then my mom figured it out and she got me in the same year as Donny.
In Spring Hill?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you did the rest of your elementary years at Spring Hill?
Yeah, that was just 1 through 6 then.
Okay.
And I remember when Kennedy was shot.
Yeah.
Yep, that was 6th grade. That was 63, I guess.
What was that day like?
Well, all the teachers were in tears, and a lot of the kids just didn't really understand what was happening.
Yeah.
And that was one of my first exposures to bugs. I mean, I always liked bugs and animals, but that was one of the first experiences I had with some of the large silk moths that are around here.
Mm-hmm.
At that school, there was a cocoon that was hatching on the ceiling of the school, and
Oh, interesting.
and everybody was entranced by it, and me especially. And I've carried that passion with me all the time.
Oh, wow. And were you close enough to Spring Hill that you would walk to school, or did
Yes,
your parents? You
definitely.
did? Okay.
Definitely.
And was there a group of kids from the neighborhood?
I'm trying to think if it was under a mile or not. Spring Hill School is right at the start of Spring Hill Road,
Mm-hmm.
and then you take Spring Hill up and it hits Black Hawk, and then we were at almost the very end of Black Hawk. So yeah, we had a little bit of a walk, but I don't recall it being any problem.
And did he do all of the homes in that?
He did all of
neighborhood?
Black Hawk,
He did.
and then he did quite a bit on Spring Hill Road, but not everything. There were some older houses there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly which. I'm pretty sure he did the whole street when you're coming out of Spring Hill School and you turn left to go up Spring Hill.
Mm-hmm.
The first left, I think, is all his houses,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe the second left.
Okay.
There's nothing on the right because there's no turns to the right because the creek is there.
And I'm going to ask you this again. I know I asked it when we were off camera, but you don't know
I'm
of
not
any.
on camera.
Well,
Anyway.
the audio kind. There's probably not a list or a register of the homes that he built anywhere.
Not that I know of, darn it.
Do you remember, other than the ones that you lived in, were there any like standout ones that were favorites of his or favorites of yours that you remember seeing? I know you mentioned that $50,000 home in Orinda.
After a while, at some point, he or his
Team.
architect, who at that time and for a long time was Hirsch Morton.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still alive?
I don't know.
They can't be.
Probably not.
They were the funnest couple. Oh my gosh.
Hirsch, and what was his wife's name?
Crap. Hirsch and Ellen.
Okay.
Ellen. And he used to drive around town in a little sports car with a big teddy bear. And I
Oh.
remember as a kid, I thought, oh, I'm going to grow up and be like that.
In the car?
Oh, yeah.
Like in the front seat?
Yeah, as a passenger.
Oh my God. I love that.
I thought that was great.
What a great story. I love that. Did he have kids?
I don't think the Mortons did.
Mm.
I really don't. No, I don't think they did. But anyway, my mom did have a big pile of plans that we found somewhere, and it was floor plans, and I've got one of them up there.
Mm.
There was floor plans for almost all the houses, and she sold them, and I think she gave the money to the library.
Wow.
You know, not for a lot, like $50 or $100 or something. Or
Yeah.
For people that wanted the original plans.
Maybe
for their
they're
house.
still there at the library.
Except I don't think the library got them. I think
Oh, they-
individual people bought them and the money went to the library.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that's who she was selling them to, was people who were interested and had that house.
Did she have any influence over your dad's work? Your mom?
Not really. At one point, he let her be an interior decorator for a couple of the houses. And she also thought that being modern, I wanted to tell you about those houses. She thought that being modern was cool, and she showed off her work one day, and she had done a room in turquoise and orange. And we just like died.
How'd your
my
dad feel about
God.
that?
I can't remember if we tried to be polite or if we just laughed. But you know, now you see that combo in Denny's.
Right. Right.
And it was kind of modern, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It's kind of 50s, early 60s modern.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, I don't think she did a lot. But anyway, you mentioned a couple of houses. The two that I remember on Blackhawk were like his modern houses.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember the addresses, but they're very modern. and they really stand out. I remember who owned them. The Kerners owned one, and the Dowdys, Don Dowdy of Dowdy's Pools, or whatever he called that pool company, had the real modern ones.
And what made them more modern? Do you remember?
I'm trying to think. They just weren't ranch style.
Mm-hmm.
They might have had a tad of an Eichler feeling about them, except they were much bigger and grander.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
more kind of in the mid-century.
The entire front would be like a low triangle, or the Dowdy's house was kind of a strange, I'll take pictures for you and get them to you later, but those are the ones I'm thinking of.
Yeah. And did they still stand, do you know?
Yeah. And they're I think, untouched.
Oh, wow.
So they look nice. They look nice. So there's several things I have pictures of that I haven't got available right now that I'll get to you later.
And did he sort of, you're alluding to this a little bit, but did he have a very specific style in mind that he wanted to be a Marchant home?
Well, I think they just called them low ranch styles or something.
Mm-hmm. And in the oral history he did, he talked about being inspired by sort of the colonial style.
Oh, well, that was going on a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a low ranch colonial or something. That sounds right.
Any specific things that you remember about the home that you grew up in that he built? Like specific elements, or you said earlier if you walked inside you would know it was a Marchant home. What was the what were the things?
That's from the beamed living room ceiling.
Okay. So say more about that.
You know, I actually don't know how many houses he did that in, but I know that he did it in a lot. Because everyone I talk to that has a Marchant home, and I mention that, and they go, "Oh yeah, we got that."
Was it a specific style of beam, or was it just vaulted?
Yeah, like vaulted beams with
Raw wood, painted wood, both?
Both. Both. You know, I'm not very, very constructor-minded. He never... It's not that he didn't like it, but he didn't ever quite understand why I was never even able to build a box. But I was the artist, so I was doing other stuff, and I never could build a box.
What about your brother?
He could do that. He could do that kind of stuff. But I just don't know the names of things. Yeah, vaulted ceiling. And he got that idea, I think, from a cabin that he and his uncle built in Santa Cruz in 1927?
Wow.
1921 or 27. No, it couldn't be 21 because he was born in 1912. So 27. And that was one of his first building experiences. Him and his brother Paul Marchant, who passed on pretty early. And I think Dad gets kind of weepy about that.
Yeah.
And I'm just sure that's where he got it, because it's a beautiful knockoff kind of that ceiling in Santa Cruz. And that cabin, which I have a picture of here.
Oh yeah.
Was I want to say Ward's, but that's not right, but it was a kit that you would buy back then.
Oh wow.
And you get the plans in a kit and build it. But this is such a weird looking house. I can't believe that it came in a kit. It was like a fairy tale house.
This one?
Yeah, and it's still there.
In Santa Cruz?
Yeah.
Do you know where in Santa Cruz?
Sure, 234 13th Avenue.
Wow. How come you have that burned in your memory?
Because I keep going there.
213 13th Avenue?
234.
234.
13th Avenue. I haven't been there in like 3 years, but I used to try and regularly go. My cousin Tom has it now after his father died.
So
I went to the Wards because the Wards were my dad's uncle.
And did your family own it? Your dad owned it? Or I know he built it.
I think it really belonged to my uncle.
Okay.
My great uncle, which would be Arthur Ward.
Okay, so his uncle.
Yeah, his uncle on his Well, it would have been, the uncle would have been married to his Aunt Violet, who started the Sir Optimus Club, which you probably went into.
The what club?
Anyway, and the Sir Optimus Club.
What's that?
Girl! It's a club of women who are like-minded do-gooders, and it means the sisters, you know, Sir Optimus. And it's kind of like the sister club of the Rotary or something.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know.
Sorop, S-O-R-O-P, Soropto Mist.
So sort of like sorority. Must come from the same.
Yeah, Sor, sister.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I love that.
So anyway, let's see. So they built that, and my dad.
So would that have been his first home that he built?
It's probably the first home that he worked on.
Okay. With
He-
his
he-
uncle.
He may have. His uncle did do some other building, but not as a. I don't think as a occupation. But
Okay.
I mean, he was pretty young then. Let's see, 27. He was born in 12.
Is he in this photo?
Yeah. Sorry, it's so faded. He's this guy right here.
Okay.
And of course, he was kind of washed out in real life. So in this picture,
Oh, how funny.
you can barely see him, but that's him.
Okay.
And this is a group of 9 kids that he kind of mentored.
Okay.
And my uncle isn't there, but this house is just so beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, where would you put a house like this if you just bought a kit? I mean, it's so perfect for a beach house.
Yeah.
And they did put their own touches on it. I mean, that chimney is all beach glass
Oh, wow.
and beach rocks, and the bathroom is all tiled with found tile and glass.
And do you
it's a
remember
beautiful-
going there as a kid?
That's one of my first memories is going in there. Yikes!
It was on the beach?
Yeah. I've been going there since I was, I think, 9 months old.
Is it still in the family? It's been sold.
Yeah, it's with my cousin Tom.
Okay.
And Tom was John Ward's son, and Tom would have been Uncle Arthur's grandkid.
Okay.
So Tom, who's probably about 70 now,
Okay.
is the one
Lives
who's in charge of it, and he's the guy I call when I want to
Visit.
reserve it for a few days,
Oh, I love that.
because he keeps it open for family,
Oh, I love that.
and we may let him turn it into a B&B or something soon, because as we're getting older, none of the originals are going there anymore. I'm sure his grandkids and stuff are using it a lot.
Yeah. And tell me about these other photos.
That was a day it snowed in Lafayette.
Oh, wow. And who are those people?
Me and my mom.
Oh.
There's quite a bit of snow.
Is that in your backyard?
Yeah. That's the house
Black
at
Hawk?
the 1403 Meadowlark Court,
Meadowlark. Okay.
which is right off Black Hawk.
Okay.
This is my dad's old truck that we had all my life.
Uh-huh.
I remember the smell of that truck and everything, because we went to a lot of jobs with him.
Oh, wow. Do you have the original of this?
The truck?
No, the photo.
No, these were all on my computer, so I'm not sure if I might have them. I might have
Well,
scanned
even the
them.
digital image would
I might have scanned them. I'll get better pictures for you.
Okay, that's great. I love this.
And this is my mom and me and Donny at the house on McGraw Lane. That's the front yard.
Okay.
Mom. Let's see, who's who? Mom, Donny, me. Mom, Donny, me.
Cute.
Yeah.
I would love to have the original.
Well, I'll just email you
The digital.
the best I have.
Great. And how do you, this is like a little bit more cerebral question, but like, how do you think about your family's impact on this community?
Well, I know a lot of people are just super happy being in Dad's houses. I mean, I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
How well built they are, and people telling me that when they do reconstruction or renovation, that every single piece of wood is prime AA lumber and stuff. That there's no funky materials used anywhere.
Yeah. Which at that time, during the post-war housing boom, there was a lot of funky materials being used. I think people were popping up houses pretty quickly.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about that, but anyway, he liked quality.
Yeah.
He liked quality, and
He must have been
he,
very-
he was proud of his
I
work,
was just
and
gonna say.
I still think it's something to be proud of when I drive by one of his houses.
Should be. And what about, I read a little bit about sort of his involvement in the Planning Commission, and he was, I think, one of the founding members of the Lafayette Planning Commission. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I know he was with what they called the Big Four or something strange. It was him, Don Dowdy, somebody King, and Don Black. Were those the four? And anyway, they did a bunch of stuff together, and I think 3 out of 4 of them were the first mayors of Lafayette. I think.
Was he ever a mayor?
They wanted him to be, and he didn't want to do it.
Why not?
Me and Donny were teenagers at that time, and he was probably just totally stressed out.
Yeah. Okay. But
And he
3
didn't-
of the 4 of them
he also-
rotated into the mayor.
He also never liked attention.
Oh.
You know, he didn't want people. He didn't want a position of power like that.
Right.
But anyway, he turned it down. I think he might have been vice mayor that year. He might have just done that. And they started Lafayette Federal Savings and Loan together, and they did a bunch of stuff together. Don Black, Dad, Don Dowdy, and somebody King. Anyway, I'll think of it later. I'll fill in some of this stuff
Sure,
for
we
you.
can find that name.
Yeah.
So as I was reading about him and his involvement in the Planning Commission, I was thinking about, like, one of the things that I think people love most about Lafayette is sort of the layout of the neighborhoods and sort of the homes' relationship to kind of like the natural elements around them. Like, it's sort of the opposite of these like cookie cutter,
Sure.
postage stamp homes that were built in the post-war era. I know
I don't know who designed the neighborhoods.
but he must have had a hand in that because
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
designing the homes
yeah.
and drawing the lot lines, right?
I guess. I don't know who did that. Either he did that or somebody in his employ did that. But I never really thought about that.
And it's still, it still stands,
all
right?
the neighborhoods that he did, and I'll try and remember them in a minute.
Yeah.
Call me back to that.
Yep.
Do have really nice, curvy, wandering streets.
And lines.
And what?
The lot lines. They're not squares.
I have no idea about the lot lines, but I'm sure they're not square. I don't know if that was of necessity or artsy fartsiness or what. But I know he was very into leaving the trees. He would do anything to work around a tree, and quite often he would dig up a big ass tree and transplant it. And I'm not sure how successful that was. I don't remember that. But I remember, I might have a picture somewhere of them digging up a huge oak tree with the root ball and everything and trying to save it.
I love that. That's what I mean. I think that's what people love about this area is it's like feels very wooded and very kind of bucolic and park-like.
Yeah.
And he
Of course,
must have.
now it does. I mean, you should have seen some of these neighborhoods in 1960. There was nothing there
Really?
because they were all orchards.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And he would take all the orchard out. So yeah, it was pretty bare. All those trees that are there are things he planted or something.
Wow.
And he had a great landscaper. That was Henry Matsutani. Henry Matsutani, who was a wonderful Japanese garden designer. And he would come in and do these wonderful gardens for Dad. I don't think they're all Henry Matsutani, but I think quite a few of them were.
Was he a local guy too?
Yeah. What was I going to tell you? Oh, I'm just going to try and remember the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
There's Silver Springs. There's Silver Dell. There's Blackhawk. I think Peardale is a lot of his. Although don't ask me where that is. It's around here somewhere. There's more, but I blank out.
Well, I know I live in Burton Valley, and I know he did a ton of the homes back there.
I guess, I think Burton Valley is one of his things. Yeah, Burton Valley. Orinda, around around. What's that story where the guy rides around with his head cut off on Halloween?
Oh,
There's
Sleepy Hollow.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Did he
very
do the
much.
homes in Sleepy
I
Hollow?
think he did a lot of Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
I think.
I knew exactly what you were talking
know,
about
I
when you
knew
said that.
somebody
That's
would.
so funny.
I
Okay.
get.
And you said he didn't do
Brain
too
bubbles.
many two-story homes. So it was these like kind of low-slung ranchers. You mentioned the beams. Was there any other sort of like hallmarks of a Marchant home?
I think the treatment of the outside wood, he always tried to make look really natural or something. Because I just remember a lot of them had like either fake or real gouge marks almost on them. He liked to toss in wagon wheels because you know he would buy these old properties like old farms also, and just start incorporating all the junk that he found on the farms. So some of the old houses have fences with wagon wheels in them. The 3360 McGraw Lane has a wheel in the wall still. And then he did these kind of artsy covered walkways. Like I said, I'm not good with terms.
No, that's
But
okay.
yeah, he had some traditional things, and that's kind of how I still recognize him.
What about those indoor barbecues?
Yeah, those were fun, and or we had an indoor bar. We had a nice little bar with a sink in our house growing up. But, you know, I think that was originally the barbecue. Was what we turned into the bar. I can't imagine using that today. I mean, it sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
But more questions.
I'm thinking about that Packard that you described in such
so
detail. You
beautiful.
don't have pictures of it, do you?
I do.
Please send those.
I just.
I just have such a visual
I
of
know.
him driving around town in that thing.
I got pictures of us all standing in front of it and stuff. I'll find this crap for you.
That's great.
But what happened to that is very sad. When Donny and I were in high school, we started to go super crazy hippie because it was,
70s,
66,
60s,
no,
70s.
not even the 70s. It was 66 to 70. So it was prime Haight-Ashbury time and all kinds of fun things you can imagine. And he was just getting pretty frustrated with us, and he was getting tired of saving stuff for us. And he was kind of, saving that Packard for us, or Donny anyway. And one day he got kind of frustrated, and somebody offered to trade him. I think he offered to give him an old covered wagon and $1,000, and Dad went for it.
$1,000 in a covered wagon for his Packard?
For the Packard.
Wow.
Anyway, it was a miserable deal, and he never ever got over it. And I can imagine, because I'm his son and I'm still not over it.
Yeah.
I never would have known what to do with the Packard, but
It's funny, I worked for eBay for 10 years, and my favorite stories were the ones of people reconnecting with things like that they had given away or sold and then found many years later on eBay and like come full circle and been able to buy it back.
There are very few people that can afford to buy back a 1933 touring car Packard, because we found out later that there were like only 10 of them made or something crazy. Don't quote me on those numbers, but anyway, we found out later that could have been Roosevelt's car when he was president. There was a big chance.
A 33 Packard?
Yeah. It could have been his
Touring.
Presidential touring car.
Wow.
Because there were so few made. So the point is that right after he sold it, it was worth $100,000.
Wow. And he sold it for a covered wagon and $1,000. So is there anywhere else in Lafayette that you remember going to or have like more visual memories of from when you were a kid? Like places of business, schools? Where'd you go to school after? Spring Hill?
after Spring Hill, Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. It was only 2 years, so I don't know what it is now, but back then it was just 7th and 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So that just kind of went by in a blur. And then high school was just crazy because it was late 60s.
Acalanes?
Yeah. The less I tell you about that, the better. And, we spent an inordinate amount of time in the hills and the creek. Just wandering around, hiking, and
Getting into trouble.
and looking at plants and animals and trees and naturey stuff. We used to have dirt clod wars. I remember that. That was fun.
Say more about that.
Where you'd pull up a bunch of grass and get the dirt that clings to the roots and then throw it at somebody.
Sounds like something my boys would do.
We had great dirt clod wars. Oh my God. You could get some action on those.
And was that in just like wildland, unbuilt space?
Yeah. I think a lot of that space still exists in at least around Meadowlark Court. I think some of those areas are still there. Mm-hmm. And I would love to go back to that creek, but I'd have to knock on somebody's door and sound creepy and say, "Hey, I want to go through your backyard."
Yeah, you probably can't access it unless you're within somebody's backyard, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'd go through neighbors' backyards, but all the neighbors that we went through their yards had kids that were going down there too. So, oh yeah, I remember that creek a lot.
And you've mentioned a few sort of like family members, cousins, uncles. Did you have any other family that was local to Lafayette? On your mom's side, or?
Her sister Aunt Ruth lived up in outside of Sacramento. So we had to make a trip to see her. My dad's Aunt Daisy lived in San Francisco. The Ward family lived on the old Black Hawk Road, and we saw a lot of them. Mm-hmm. That was John Ward and his first wife Gloria, and then Scandal. When the kids were they had 4 kids: Art, Jim, Sandra, Tom, in that order. And Gloria, the first wife, who was wonderful and beautiful and everything, got a bee in her bonnet that she'd been the housewife too much and she needed to branch out, and she left them. And John pretty quickly found another wife because he was a big, handsome guy, 6'6" and impressive. And she begged to come back, and the family wouldn't take her back.
Wow.
So anyway, scandal.
Love a scandal.
But anyway, we saw a lot of them. We saw his second wife is still alive. Her name is Mimi Ward. She's up in Bear Valley or something.
Okay. And John would have been your uncle?
John would have been a cousin of mine. John was Aunt Violet's son, and Aunt Violet was Dad's aunt.
Okay, so he was technically a second cousin of yours.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Dad's mom was a Daisy, was a Daisy Richardson. She might have been Daisy Richardson Ward. No, she was Daisy Richardson.
Okay.
And there were 3 kids in that family. There was Daisy, Violet, and Arthur.
Okay.
And then my Aunt Daisy, of course, was named after her mom, Daisy.
Got it.
And my dog in the house was named Daisy, after
Oh.
Aunt Daisy. You know why? Because for the first 3 years of my dog's life, she liked to stand at a mirror and look at herself. And that was so Aunt Daisy.
I love that story. That's so good. What, let's see, any great stories or legends?
What other scandals can I tell you? There was a time where Dad got sued. He got sued once because his soil engineer screwed up, and a house started cracking or something awful, and he was in some legal trouble for a bit. They didn't bring it up a lot, but I remember at one point he was trying to impress on my brother and me how tough times could be if he really got sued. And they drove my brother and I to this house that my dad thought was just horrible, and would surely shock us into our senses and make us realize that life on the low was going to be a horrible thing. And Donny and I loved that house.
Oh, really?
We said, yeah, let's move. Let's move. So that shattered that plan. The scare tactic didn't work. We still continued our profligate ways.
I love that. And what about, like, just changes you've seen over the years to the town? Like, can you talk a little bit about just, like, some of the changes that you've seen?
Well, you and I were talking about how people are taking Dad's houses and altering them beyond recognition. And I kind of remember that. I kind of remember when people first started to do that in Blackhawk, our Blackhawk, Lafayette Blackhawk. And I don't remember when it started, but it probably started after I went to college, which was 1970. California Institute of the Arts. And I just remember I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
Seeing them have, no respect for the neighborhood and everything. He did have a list of rules almost that you had to sign before you moved into any of his houses.
Oh, interesting.
I think.
Do you remember what they were?
Yeah, things like not changing anything and keeping it so the neighborhood remained cohesive and of a certain flavor and
Well, I think that's very much what the Planning Commission, sort of their charter is now. It's just making sure that, like, any homes that are being built have to meet a certain criteria and can't go over a certain height or can't encroach on certain setbacks on the sides.
But this was, you couldn't even buy the house until you signed this thing.
Wow.
What else was in there? I don't know, like no painting on the street and keeping the front yard nice and I guess HOA kind of stuff or something. Only it wasn't super enforced, but people who did buy the houses were kind of that bent anyway. They didn't want to mess things up. Have you driven down Blackhawk ever?
When we first moved here, we had a realtor drive us around that neighborhood, but I haven't been back since. That was 5 years ago.
5 years? Well, there was a lot of changes even 5 years ago. A lot of the changes that I'm thinking of had already happened 5 years ago.
Sure.
Yeah. But you still get a kind of a feel for how it used to look. All those nice low houses with beautiful front yards and stuff.
Nice wide lots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember wide street too, right? Like a nice wide street.
Yeah, pretty wide. The other thing we did was just play in the street.
Yeah.
That's what I remember is playing kickball and baseball and kick the can and all that crap right out in the street or in somebody's front yard. Oh my gosh.
Are you still in
and
touch
swimming,
with any of those kids?
Swimming.
Yeah. In
Lots
people's
of
pools,
swimming.
backyard?
Oh, Dad was big for having pools in most every house, as I recall. I don't know what the percentage is, but I know he was working with Don Dowdy. What was his company's name?
You said Dowdy did pools.
I'm not sure if it was Dowdy's pool.
But he had a pool company?
Yeah.
So he worked with Dowdy on pools, and who was the guy on landscape? It's
Matsutani. And
Hirsch Morton.
on.
So he had a good little team.
Yeah, and I remember I remember a lot of his main workers too, because we were always out there with them. He'd drag me and Donny along on weekends to work for whatever good that was, and I'm just trying to remember their names, but I very specifically remember 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 of his main guys, were kind of like part of the family. Another thing Dad used to do was he'd gather us together, and when the guys were building houses during the summer, we would drive around and hand out sodas and stuff.
Oh, I love that.
So that was fun. So he kind of, inspired us to think of other people like that.
Did he ever have you swinging hammers?
I suspect after the first time I swung a hammer, he decided against it. But my brother probably did it. We did things like picking up all the weird little pieces of metal that pop out of electrical fixed boxes.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pop out these quarter size, 50 cents size. No one even knows what a 50-cent piece is anymore. Pieces of metal to get the electrical box ready for wiring. And we used to do that. We used to sweep a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We never really did construction-y stuff.
Mm-hmm. Did your mom outlived your dad?
Yeah. Dad passed in '86, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom didn't pass till 2002.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And did she stay in the house on Blackhawk?
Yes.
She did?
Yeah.
All the way
with
until
help,
she died?
With help.
Yeah.
The last 10 years of her life were pretty well covered by Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And it was awful.
Yeah.
She was the kind of Alzheimer's where every day they step further, one step more away. And you just, you're never really conscious of them leaving, but they're walking a foot away every day, and finally you can't see them. So she was there for, God, when she was 75, I think was when we really noticed things were not great.
Yeah.
And then she was 91 maybe when she passed.
Wow.
I want to say. And the last 2 years, she was just a vegetable.
Yeah.
So,
That's hard.
yeah.
But
But anyway, we had care for her.
Mm-hmm.
And they hired a little girl from Mexico, an immigrant. Can you imagine? Are you okay with your phone?
It's fine. I thought it had stopped recording, but we're good.
I hope not. I'm not going to go over all this. And her name is Vita, and I still see her. She helped me out here a lot last year. I had cancer last year, but I'm over it. And her name was Vita, and she was 14.
Wow.
But I don't think we even knew. And she had escaped Mexico for some awful reason that she never talked about. And they hired her because Dad was sick with cancer at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom just wanted to have a live-in, but that's what she did. We gave her room and board and $800 a month or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
She helped when your dad was
she
sick?
she was there for the rest of till 2002.
Wow. From the time that your dad was sick all the way through?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. At one point, when Dad passed in '86, she thought that her job was up, and she got married. And about 8 months later, she called us up and said, "My husband is a jerk. Can I come and have the baby at the house?" And we said, "Yeah." So anyway, I helped raise her daughter,
Oh, wow.
who is now 37.
Wow. And Vita's still around?
Yeah. And she helped take care of my yard when I was laid up last year. I'll tell you about that when this is off.
Well, you guys had a whole village around you, it sounds like all kinds of good people.
Yeah. And my cousins, oh God, I forgot all about those cousins because I don't talk to them much anymore. My dad's nephews and niece were Rod and Paul Marchant. and Lynette Marchant. And those were his brother Paul's kids. That Paul died in the plane crash when the kids were, what, very young.
Yeah. I remember reading that. So, so what do you think your dad would say he was the most proud of in his whole career in Lafayette?
The houses. Sure. But I'm not sure if he really understood what they meant to people and stuff. I remember him being kind of
Deprecating.
Yeah, to the point where he wasn't sure if he'd made an impression or not. But,
Oh, wow.
but he had.
Yeah, I mean, his name is now synonymous with...
And he loved gardening. I mean, that's part of why I do what I do here. I mean, he really instilled that in me. That's what he'd do, is build and garden and take us on trips all the time. Oh my gosh, we were always traveling.
To where?
Oh, national parks and stuff. And far-flung cousins, but mainly national parks. Oh my gosh, we've been going to Yosemite and Crater Lake and Tahoe and all the places since I was tiny.
What a life.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Well, I think we're almost at an hour here, so I'm going to turn this off.
Okay.